Today's video is not just a crafting video, but it's also a bit of an organizing video. This is for me because I have a hard time letting go of things that I've had for many years, no longer need, but they have sentimental value. And a friend of mine who does organizing said, why don't you take a picture of them and, write a little bit about them if you need to, put them in a nice folder, and then you'll be able to more easily let them go. So I've dedicated this crafting session to making what I am calling a memory and organization little journal made with envelopes, and into it I will put some of these pictures of things that I have had for so long and need to let go. For instance, this belonged to my mom. My dad gave it to her one Christmas, I believe it was, and she kept it as a sewing box, which I would always raid because I love to sew. She didn't really care about sewing boxes, but it means a lot to me, and it's been in the garage collecting dust for a long, long time. So I will put that in the envelope that I've marked for things from my childhood. Something else. Okay. Clothes from when my kids were little. Since I made their clothes, was hard for me to let them go. But I see them all lined up. I see how pretty they were. Even my grandkids don't really wear them because they're not the right sizes at the right times. So this can go in the baby box. And so on and so on. But that's why I'm making this. Maybe there are some of you that have a hard time getting rid of things too. But anyway, this is my purging journal, and I hope you will enjoy going through it with me. I do want to provide basic steps, though, on how you can use screen in your journaling, because I do love window screen. And so I am going to share with you how I did the stenciling on the screen and how I actually made the book. So that's the actual crafting part of it. So stay tuned. Thank you. I've turned the sound down because the pounds of the stenciling would be annoying. But in order to do this, I'm using acrylic paints, and I've put down newspaper so the newspaper can absorb the paint as I stencil. And I just got a regular stencil, but I am using regular stencil brushes. I do not use sponge. I don't recommend that for when you are trying to stencil with screen. In general, this is an easy process, and the screen receives the stenciling really, really well and really easily. I believe it was in Baltimore where screen painting was very popular for many years. So enjoy. This is the outcome of our stenciling. And as you can see, the screen takes the stencil really, really well. And I'm going to use this, pardon my fingers, I'm going to use this to make a journal cover. Right now, I am attaching the screen to make this cover. And I'm using this painter's tape because when I get ready to put the inside lining in, the painter's tape serves two purposes. First purpose is that it holds the screen in place, and because I'm going to have to sew this, I'm going to run it through the machine after I get the lining on. And since I'm using a paper lining, but when I get ready to attach the lining, And this is the lining paper I'll be using. When I get ready to attach the lining, I'm going to have to, well, I'm going to spray it first so it'll stay in place. And when I spray it, the spray will adhere better to this tape than it would just to the screen. So that's why I'm using the tape, and that's why the tape will stay on the screen while I sew it. Ah, crud. And the sewing will make it, you know, strong. We'll make a strong hold on it. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to stitch the lining in, and then I'll be right back. I'm back, and this is the lining that I've sewn into the book. The book is ready now for me to put in my envelopes. And this is the outside cover. When I stitched around, my I guess my bobbin wasn't, doing too well. So anyway, I should have stitched with brown thread, but I'll know next time. So anyway, the outside doesn't look that great, but the inside lining looks just fine. So when I used this paper, I decided to make my envelopes out of some of this paper and a paper that I felt was compatible. So actually I bought this paper in a pack, and I didn't realize that there would be so much of this in the pack because I really didn't like it that well. But in order to get rid of it, I've been using it, and I've kind of gotten used to it. So these are some of the envelopes I've made. This one will be for pictures of the baby clothes that I still have, even though my children have babies of their own. I've got to get rid of those. That'll be in this envelope. This will be for things that from my childhood and my school days that I still should not have, but I have. This one will be for things I went out and bought because I thought they were cute. Probably paid too much for them, never really wore them, and just haven't been able to get rid of them because, well, I paid for them. And so that's those envelopes. And let me see, this envelope will be for my husband's stuff. Now, that is not my husband. That's just, a cutout. But anyway, this will be for things that he has had. This one will be for books and journals that I've just not gotten rid of, for one reason or the other, where I've thought, oh, it would be terrible to get rid of that, blah, blah, blah. And this will be for stuff that belong to my mom, and I have a lot of things that belong to her that I just haven't been able to seem to part with. And so I made those envelopes, and I saved the last one. This is the last envelope I made. I don't have an envelope maker, so I just had to kind of cut out one and trace it. And I put a lining in here to give it a little extra strength for when I'm loading it up. And it'll just kind of fold like this. And when I get ready to put it into this journal, I will open it up and I will sew it in like that. Anyway, I'm going to decorate this one just so, just so you can see some of the little decorations that I put on them. I'm taking my time with them because I know that if I make them really kind of special and pretty, that I will be really careful about what I put in there. So this is going to be the one for travel things, a lot of trips that I have taken. I have managed to get a lot of interesting things that I really didn't need to keep. So, okay, this is kind of, all right, that, and this kind of serve to decorate this will kind of be travel or kind of mean travel. And I will put a Bon Voyage sticker at the bottom. Just something so, you know, that looks travel-y. And I don't know, maybe one of these little airplanes up at the top. You can get a lot of these neat little stickies and things, embellishments from the dollar store. I get them from all over the place. So that will be my travel envelope, and it will go, yeah, okay. So these are the envelopes that I'll be using, and I'm calling this little journal my Pictures of the Purge, because that's what I'm making it for, a purging journal. And this is my guide for laying in my envelopes. And I got this neat idea from Treasure Books. The Treasure Books lady has a lot of really, really good ideas. And this was one that seemed to fit my needs to go on and get rid of stuff. So I'm going to punch holes in this, and I'm going to sew in the envelopes, and then I'll be back. I'm back with my journal for purging, and my envelopes are all in. They're all in and ready to receive the photographs of the things or the items that I need to get rid of. Now, I've left one envelope unfinished because I wanted you to be able to see. I'm hoping that you can be able to see. I've stitched it in. I just added this tape to give the paper a little more stability, because this is not cardstock, it's just regular paper. So this is called a pamphlet stitch, and there are 1,000,001 videos on how to do it. It's just 3 holes, and then you basically take embroidery thread and sew through. So once I sewed that part in, as you can see, it's attached. Now I can go ahead and glue the envelope shut. So that would be the last step. I would glue this envelope shut. All of these are already glued, but I did want you to be able to see what the process was. I have also decided that I would like to kind of embellish the inside. I just think it would be kind of pretty to put something here about memories. And I have some cutouts that I think are kind of pretty. And they are a little matchy-matchy. I've already sprayed them and put them down. And I know maybe matchy-matchy isn't in, but I like it. And that's a nice thing about when you do your own journals and things. You do them the way you want them. So I think that's kind of nice. And I will look and see. I think Capture Memories might be a nice one to go here. Maybe. I probably should distress this a little bit, since that's distressing things is so in vogue these days. I guess if I don't know. All right, there's a little distress. Okay, so there that goes. Capture Memories. So that's the embellishment for the inside page. And so I am ready. Pictures of things that are kind of special in, and fold them up and keep them. So I just wanted you to see how this journal was made. And if you have things that you have a hard time getting rid of, like me, then maybe something like this would work for you. Taking the time to make a special little journal, an envelope journal, taking pictures of the things that, or items that you know you have no longer use for, but they kind of tug at your heart. Well, this might be a nice way to move. Thank you so much for watching.